Have you ever heard of a soldier who fought World War II with a sword, a bow and arrows, and his bagpipes? Meet Mad Jack Churchill. In the annals of history, few figures stand as unique as Mad Jack Churchill. His tale begins in the Far East, in Hong Kong, where he was born. But it was in the dense jungles of Burma where he first tasted battle, serving with the Manchester Regiment. His early years in military service, however, were just a prelude to the extraordinary feats that would later earn him his nickname. As the storm clouds of World War II began to gather, Churchill decided to rejoin the military. But this was a man who didn't just want to be a part of history, he wanted to leave his mark on it. So imagine the scene. The world is on the brink of a war characterized by machine guns, tanks, and bombers. And here's Mad Jack, not with a rifle, but with a broadsword, a bow and arrows, and his trusty bagpipes. His eccentricity wasn't just for show. Churchill used these unconventional weapons to inspire his fellow soldiers, to instill fear in his enemies, and to carve out his own unique place in the theater of war. His fearless and adventurous spirit was not just a personal trait, but a weapon in itself. He was a warrior, yes, but also an embodiment of audacious courage and unorthodox tactics. In a world teetering on the precipice of the most devastating conflict in human history, Mad Jack Churchill chose to stand out, not just as a soldier, but as a symbol of audacity and individuality. His story serves as a reminder that even in the darkest times, there are those who can light up the battlefield, not just with gunfire, but with their indomitable spirit. In the midst of a war characterized by machine guns and tanks, Mad Jack stood out with his unconventional weaponry. Now let's dive into the war exploits of Mad Jack that earned him his fame. Imagine a time of great turmoil, the world on the brink of annihilation, nations pitted against each other. In this chaos emerges a man with a broadsword in one hand and bagpipes in the other, Mad Jack Churchill. His wartime exploits are the stuff of legend, each tale more audacious than the last. Churchill's remarkable journey begins at the evacuation of Dunkirk. Amidst the panic and confusion, he stood tall, his courage unwavering. His next destination was the Commandos, an elite force known for their daring landing operations. It is here that Churchill truly made a name for himself, his unconventional methods leaving a lasting impression on both his allies and enemies. One of his most notable exploits takes us to the French village of L'Épinette. With only 2 men by his side, Churchill defended the village against a German assault. His weapon of choice? An arrow, which he used to kill a German commanding NCO. Undeterred by the overwhelming odds, he charged at the enemy with his sword, embodying the very spirit of a fearless warrior. But Churchill's audacity didn't stop there. From disabling guns in Norway to capturing 42 Germans in Sicily, his missions were nothing short of legendary. Yet his most daring feat came when he was captured and taken to a concentration camp in Yugoslavia. Not one to be easily confined, Churchill escaped not once, but twice. Despite the grim reality of war, Churchill's eccentricity never waned. Whether it was playing the bagpipes to inspire his soldiers or charging into battle with his broadsword, his fearless spirit was a beacon of hope amidst the despair. Mad Jack wasn't just a soldier, he was a war hero who inspired his comrades with his fearless spirit. What happened to such a unique war hero after the war? Let's find out. As the war in Europe came to a close, Mad Jack Churchill's thirst for adventure didn't wane. Instead, he was transferred to the Far East, where he hoped to continue his fight. Alas, by the time he arrived, the fighting had already ceased, much to his disappointment. It's said that he was displeased with the sudden end of the war, largely due to the involvement of the United States. Mad Jack was a warrior at heart, and the cessation of the fighting seemed to have robbed him of the adventure he so craved. But even in peacetime, Churchill remained an eccentric character, embodying his adventurous spirit in a different way. He was often seen carrying an umbrella at parades, a sight that was as unusual as it was endearing. And his love for music didn't fade either. He was known to play the bagpipes at night, perhaps a nod to his war days when he used music to inspire his soldiers and intimidate his enemies. His reputation as a fearless adventurer carried over into his post-war life. He continued to push boundaries and break conventions, just as he had done on the battlefield. Whether it was his unconventional parade appearances or his nighttime bagpipe sessions, Mad Jack was always true to himself, always the eccentric warrior. And so, even after the war, Mad Jack Churchill remained a larger-than-life figure. His courage, eccentricity, and unquenchable spirit for adventure left an indelible mark, not just in the annals of military history, but also in the hearts of those who knew him. He was a man who lived by his own rules, a man who turned war into an adventure and who turned peacetime into an opportunity to express his unique personality. His story serves as a reminder that even in the most dire of circumstances, there is room for individuality and a personal touch. Even after the war, Mad Jack remained a symbol of adventurous spirit and eccentricity. Reflecting on the life of Mad Jack, what can we learn from his story? From the battlefields of World War II to the quiet peacetime that followed, Mad Jack Churchill lived a life that was anything but ordinary. His unconventional tactics and indomitable spirit made him a legend in his own time. He was a man who dared to be different, who chose the path less traveled, who saw possibility where others saw only risk. His story teaches us that courage comes in many forms, and not always in the ways we might expect. It's not just about charging into battle with a broadsword and bagpipes, but also about standing up for what we believe in, even when it goes against the grain. It's about facing fear with determination and a dash of audacity. Mad Jack was not just a soldier, but an adventurer, a maverick who never lost his zest for life, even in the direst of circumstances. He reminds us that while war is brutal and destructive, the human spirit is resilient and unyielding. In a world of conformity, Mad Jack Churchill reminds us of the power of individuality. His life is a testament to the fact that it's not about fitting in, but about standing out, about being true to oneself, no matter the odds. I hope you enjoyed this journey into the life of Mad Jack Churchill. If you did, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss my next video. And don't forget to tell me in the comments which topic you'd like me to explore next.